Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafting with Slavie, where we make cards and other paper crafts. In today's card video, we are going to be making these 3 beautiful cards using the Simon Says stamp, a Mama's Love stamp set. Now I got this stamp set last year, but it was after Mother's Day, and so I didn't get a chance to use it at all for Mother's Day cards, and I just love it, so I am really excited to have the opportunity to share it with you. I am stamping out my images using Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock and the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Now, for those of you who watch my channel, you know that I actually prefer the Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink, but I want to give Tuxedo Black a chance. So I thought it would be nice to use it in this card. Now for the backgrounds, I am making 2 backgrounds in the same way. I'm actually using the Astro Brights paper here. This is the Champagne Pearl, and I am heat embossing using the Ranger clear embossing ink and the Ranger embossing powder in holographic to stamp out the background. The background is the Simon Says stamp center cut hexagon floral background stamp, and it's just gorgeous. If you haven't seen it, it makes this really delicate floral pattern, and it also comes with some messages, so you can cut out the hexagon with the matching die and you can put in a message and do lots of fun things. But I recently saw somebody using this stamp set to create a background with just a simple clear embossing background, and I thought it would be nice to do the holographic because this paper from Astro Brights that I'm using is rather shimmery. So yeah, wanted to highlight the shimmer. Now for the third background, I actually made these backgrounds a little while ago. I'm going to link here to where I showed you one of them in one of my unboxing videos. This one I am using, I do believe this is Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock for this background, and I went over it with the Tattered Rose Oxide ink and covered kind of all over. I wasn't worried if it was going to be blotchy because I was going to go over it with the stencil. Then I went in with the worn lipstick, I cleaned off my stencil, and then I went back in with shaded lilac. And the reason that I used Oxide inks is because they do cover up whatever ink is underneath. So with Distress inks, they kind of just blend together, but the oxides actually have a really nice opaqueness over top of other inks. And I was wanting to play around with this. This was before I got my Bubbles of Joy stamp set from Lawn Fawn, and I wanted to try to see if I could accomplish like a bokeh effect. For those of you who don't know, bokeh is the visual quality of the out-of-scope areas of a photographic image, especially as rendered by a particular lens. So if you ever see a picture and there's like light dots in it, that's what bokeh is. Okay, now this paper here, this is the, pardon me for a second, I have to think about this. This is the Sizzix paper that I got, I think, in January, and I'll link it here. It is the opalescent paper, it's linked below, and I am using the Greetings from the A Mama's Love Sentiments to stamp it out, and I actually had to use StazOn ink to get it to stick to this paper, and then I used my StazOn specialty cleaner because StazOn is an ink that goes on anything, so you want to make sure that you use the specialty cleaner to get your stamps clean and anything else that it touches. And a couple of things about the tools that I'm using. So this is the Tonic Studios guillotine trimmer, which I just got, and I have to say I really love it. What everybody says about them is totally true. And then you saw me using the Vendi Vici Make Art Station, also linked below, along with the proper name, and I use that to do the Bokeh background, and I actually really love it. I didn't know how I was going to feel about it Couple notes about that one. You saw how my panel got away on me because I didn't put magnets on it. So make sure you put it on the actual paper you're ink blending and then just kind of move it around. But be cognizant that you clean off the bottom of the magnets. They've got a little bit of a felt cover on them, and you want to make sure that you clean that up as you are using it so that you don't get ink transfer on your project, or make sure that you position it on the solid parts of the stencil. So it just depends on what type of stencil you're using. Okay, so we are assembling our cards. As you can see, I've kind of laid them out here to figure out where I wanted everything. And this is the nice thing about the guillotine trimmer. So everybody I've seen use them says that you can just line things up and it cuts perfectly. And I have to say, I'm quite impressed. I've used guillotine trimmers in the past and they just sucked. So I was really weary and I got the 8.5 inch one and I actually quite love it. I think depending on how things go, I may have to get the 12.5 inch one. I think it's 12.5 inches. Anyways, it cuts to 12 by 12 paper cards. Oh, and then for the Bokeh background, I used, so the Astro Brights paper that I used for the other two cards is called Champagne Pearl. This one that I used for the base of this card is called White Silver, and they are part of the Astro Brights metallic pack. They come together. I did find a link below just to the Staples website. You can get them at Michael's or Staples, basically any office supply store will carry them. I was not able to find a link to Amazon, and I didn't find them on the Astro Brights website either. But keep an eye out if you're kind of into that, and yeah, just play around with some paper, because that's what I did. And then I used my Tim Holtz design ruler just to line things up. I did use a combination of glue dots to hold down my people. So this card is for my mom. That's supposed to be me and my brother when we were younger. My mom has never had long hair that I can remember. However, that is the only downside to me of this stamp set. Otherwise, I just love it. And I used a ruler to line us up so that we matched the line of the card underneath. And same with the sentiment. And I did use a combination of regular and thin foam squares. So the kiddos on this card and the other one are on thin foam squares. And here's what the card looks like when I'm done. And then thick foam squares for the momma and the sentiment. And here I actually added glue to the back of these foam dots on this background because it does have like ridges and stuff. And I wasn't sure that it was going to properly adhere. However, I forgot to do that with the card that's over in the top left-hand corner there, and it worked just fine. So you don't have to add the glue like I did here, unless you're paranoid about it coming loose, which obviously I was, but it worked out okay. And the sentiments on this card, I adhered to the card using thin foam squares, and the pregnant lady was with the thick foam squares, or regular foam squares, however you want to say that. I hope you're enjoying today's video. If you are liking the content, please hit the like button and leave me a comment below if you have started on your Mother's Day cards. I would love to see them. And other than that, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any new videos coming out with the notification bell activated. All right, and then this card is the last card for today. And you can really tell the difference in the cards. They're very, you can really change them up to whoever you're giving them to. So this one's going to my friend and she's got 2 sons, but there's also another girl in the card set. So if you've got somebody who's got 2 girls, you can do that. Or even if there's 3 kids, you can do that as well. You can really mix and match these. So it's really neat. I really like it. And then there's also a lot of really great sentiments in the stamp set, but I just kept it simple for this one. So thank you again for watching. My name is Slavie from Crafting with Slavie, and I'll see you in the next video.